Hello everyone, I am Ronnie Clark with the Richard Powell Legal Society, and this is our Know Your Rights series. I'm here with attorney Maria Bruner, and she's going to tell us about their upcoming exciting event.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Our upcoming event is a child support, child custody informational session, and it will be held on June 25th at 6 o'clock p.m. It will be located at the Pitt County Community College Continuing Education Center, located on Memorial Boulevard next to Parker's.
Thank you. Could you tell us more about the Richard Powell Legal Society?
Sure. Richard Powell Legal Society is a nonprofit organization of minority attorneys that have a mission to provide legal information and services to underserved communities within Pitt County.
And who is Richard Powell?
Richard Powell was the first African American attorney licensed in Pitt County. He served on various boards throughout the county, and he was instrumental in helping minority communities as well as Pitt County residents as a whole. In his legacy of service, that's why we provide these informational sessions to the public.
And so this informational session is going to be on child custody and child support. Why is this event so important?
This event is important because it's one of those areas of the law that impacts everyone. Unlike criminal court, you do not have a right to counsel. So this is an area where a lot of people are interacting with the judicial process or the judicial system without any advice from an attorney. And so it's important that attendees understand what that legal process is so that they can better advocate for themselves.
Okay, so is this event free? Do your attendees have to register at all?
Okay, our event is free and there's no registration required.
Well, that's great. What kind of information and services will your attorneys be providing?
Our attorneys will provide legal information related to the topics of child custody. Attorney Jacinta Jones will discuss things like what is custody, what are the variations of custody. A lot of people believe that custody is just one thing. However, there's physical custody that speaks to where does a child reside or live, and there's legal custody that talks about who has the authority to make decisions for that child. So she will discuss those things. She will also speak about the different types of physical custody, ranging from sole custody all the way to joint.
Right. And what are some of the common misconceptions with child custody?
So some of the misconceptions that I see as a family law practitioner would be that people believe that, or males in particular believe that the judicial system is designed to give moms or women their custody of children. They believe that somehow, even if they go into court, that they will not be awarded custody, and that's not the case. Judges have a job, and they take it very seriously to look at what's in the best interest of the child, whether that is the father or the mother, and there's no bearing, gender doesn't have any basis on that decision.
All right.
Another misconception that they have is about the process and how long it takes, and they believe that, they don't understand that filing for custody is not a quick process, and that there's many steps involved. And so that's one of the things that attendees will learn is about what that process entails. And I would say the last misconception would be that filing for custody has to be adversarial. So in order to file for custody, the parties have to, go to hearing and talk bad about each other.
Right.
And that's not the case as well. There is a process where parents can discuss it without even having to go to court and to have a hearing. A formal hearing.
And what's the name of that process where they don't?
So that would be mediation. And so mediation is a process by which the courts provide a mediator or a third party to sit down and allow parents to come up with their own arrangement for where their child will live and what visitation looks like. So that's the mediation process.
Okay. And along with child custody, you all will also be discussing child support. Can you tell us some of the challenges that you've seen regarding child support?
Right. So with child support, I would say that the number one challenge is that lay people like to compare child support amounts. This again is another area where people may know someone who pays child support or receives child support, and what they try to do is gauge how much child support they will receive or have to pay based on relatives or family members. And that's misguided because child support requires factors. The court has to consider people's income, the needs of the child, the age of the child. And so there's different factors that go into determining how much a child support amount would be. So we'll discuss, I will discuss what those factors are during that presentation.
Okay, and what are some of the common questions that you've encountered regarding child support?
So some of the common questions that I receive is who's responsible for paying child support? A lot of times people believe that it's just the parent that doesn't live with the child, but both parents have a legal obligation to support the minor child. Do step parents have to pay child support? And if so, how much?
Right.
What happens if a person loses their job? Does it automatically stop? Does it automatically change? What if I told the caseworker? Who do I tell about a change? So the last one is I hear often is, okay, well now I've had a child since I had my child support order. Does the child support order now take into consideration that I have a new child? So we will address all of those questions during the presentation.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. So are there any other topics that you all will be discussing during your session?
Right. So it's difficult to talk about child custody and support without talking about paternity. Paternity is one of those sometimes touchy issues, but we will be discussing what the legal aspect is around paternity. There is something people refer to when males put their name on a birth certificate, but what they're really referring to is an affidavit of parentage that is signed at the hospital. Right. We'll talk about whether guys should sign that. When should they sign it? And what the legal obligations that flow from them taking on that legal responsibility and by signing it.
Okay. Well, that concludes my questions for you. Again, this is Richard Powell's Legal Society Know Your Rights series. And again, the event will be held when?
It will be held on June 25th at 6:00 p.m. at Pitt County Community College, the Continuing Education Building. It's on Memorial next to Parker's. I hope to see you there.
Thank you.